These are some of the questions that you've asked about your checkpoint revision. So let's go through them. So first off, you asked about this question that's to do with the square. There's an easy way to do this. If we look at this from C to B, would be 4 across and 2 up. And we think about from A, we'd need to be 2 down and 4 over to the left. Okay, and we'd get that. You can always double check by going 2 across. 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 4 down, 2 across. Okay, the coordinates of D therefore are along the corridor, so -2, -1. Okay, so along to -2 and down to -1. All right, easy peasy. Next up, complete the table to show equivalent numbers. The first row is completed for you. So 10 to the power of 2 is 100. Fine. 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4 should be 10,000. And 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be 100,000, which is 10 to the power of 5. Next, you've got 1.2 divided by 0.01. What I would suggest doing here is to multiply by 100 in the denominator and multiply by 100 in the numerator. The reason that we do that is if we multiply by 100, what you'll get in the denominator will be 1. And if you multiply by 100, what you'll get in the numerator will be 120. And as we'll know, 120 divided by 1 is 120. So super easy. When you're doing these and you've got a denominator that's got a decimal in it, just multiply by enough so that you don't have it anymore and then work from there. Next, Gabriella is 110 centimeters tall, Pierre is 154 centimeters tall. There's the ratio of their mass is 3 to 8. The value of their total mass in kilos is 1/4 of the value of the total height in centimeters. So first off, we'll need to work out the total height, which will be 110 plus 154, which is going to be 264. 1/4 of 264 will be 264 divided by 4. 4s into 2 don't go, 4s into 26 will go 6 times remainder 2, 4s into 24 will go 6 times as well. So that means that their total mass, okay, is going to be 66 kg. Now Pierre and Gabriella's mass are in the ratio of 3 to 8. A good way to deal with this is if you draw 3 boxes and then you draw 8 boxes, a bit neater than mine, okay, then you'll have Gabriella, pardon me, and you'll have Pierre, and they are 66 kilos. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boxes. So there's 11 things that we're sharing into, which means that each of the boxes must be 6, because 6 times 11 is 66. So we need the mass for Gabriella, which will be 3 times 6, which is 18. Okay. And then Pierre will be 8 times 6, 8 times 6 being 48. Okay, easy peasy. Moving on. Next, Oliver draws 2 pie charts to show the favourite subjects from students from 2 different schools. School A has got 200 students, okay, and School B has 120 students, which accounts for the fact that School B is a smaller circle. Oliver says that the same number of students in School A said maths is their favourite subject as in School B. So first off, we'll need to work out 15% of 200. Well, 10% of 200 equals 20. 5% would be 10. Okay, and so that would mean that 30 students in School A said maths was their favourite subject. Here in School B, we've got 25% of 120. The easiest way to work out 25% is to halve it to get 50 and halve again to get 25%. Half of 120 is 60, halved is 30. Okay, so actually Oliver is correct, and you would just need to tick that to say that, and you could say that 30 students liked maths from each school. Next, the coordinates of point A and point B are 3, 8, and 9, 15. A midpoint is halfway between them. A good idea would be to try and get an idea of what they might look like. So you got 3, 8, and then over and up a bit, you get 9, 15. You don't need to draw that really neatly or anything, but the midpoint would be here, halfway between. So work out what's halfway between 3 and 9. You can work out halfway between 3 and 9 really easily and just know it's 6. A trick, if you want to, is to add them up and divide by 2. Add 3 and 9 to get 12 divided by 2 would be 6. 8 and 15 adds up to 23. 23 divided by 2 is 11.5. Okay, so the midpoint would be 6, 11.5. Whenever you try to find halfway between 2 numbers, add them up, divide by 2. It's quite a nice way to do it. All right, the midpoint will be between those 2 coordinates. Next, Angelique leaves home at 9:30 to go for a walk. Fine, off she goes. Okay, the graph shows information about her walk. So she walks 8 kilometers. Fine, stops for a rest, and then returns home the same way. Work out her speed on the return home. So she walks 8 kilometers in a certain amount of time. So she walks 8 km in. Well, there's an hour, there's 2 hours. Okay, just because it's offset a little bit doesn't mean that 4 boxes doesn't make an hour. 4 boxes still makes an hour no matter where they are. Okay, so that's 8 kilometers in 2 hours. So she walks 4 kilometers per hour, because if it's 8 kilometers in 2 hours, then it must be 4 in 1. Carlos is Angelique's brother. He leaves home at 10. He walks 6 kilometers per hour in the same direction as Angelique, and then he walks for 90 minutes. Okay, so he leaves at 10. He walks 6 kilometers per hour, which will mean that by 11 he gets to there. Okay, and then he would carry on a little bit further, but he walks in the same direction. So we'd go outside of this graph, annoyingly. Okay, but we get something that looks like that for Carlos. Okay, draw this line on the graph to show his walk. Okay, so he walks for 90 minutes only. Okay, which means that he'll probably get to about there. Okay, that's where he'll get to. In fact, actually, he gets to there. Pardon me. Okay, he gets to there. He gets to 9 kilometers. The reason he gets to 9 kilometers is if he walks for 90 minutes, that's an hour and a half. 1.5 times by 6 would be 9. You should use a ruler to go from here to here, but I don't have that functionality on this PowerPoint slide, unfortunately. Okay, so go from an hour and a half to 9, and then you just walk from 10. Estimate the time when Angelique and Carlos meet. I think that they'll meet at 11 a.m. That's where those two lines cross. Okay, that's a good estimate. The reason it's only an estimate is because they might not walk exactly 6 kilometers per hour and exactly 4 kilometers per hour at all at the exact same times. Okay. Next, the diagram has been shows an object made from 5 cubes. It's been drawn on isometric paper, which is triangle paper, fine. You've got to draw a plan. Now, a plan view is a vertical looking down view. Often it's called a bird's eye view. Now, in this case, your plan view will look something like this. Okay, now what we generally do is we have these two wouldn't have a line between them because they're at the exact same level, and then after that you put your line between these and your line between these because they're at a different level from each other. All right, the front view or the front elevation would be from this way, all right, where you're going to have one here, and then you'll have a tower of 2 and next to it a 1. But none of those are a change in sort of like depth, how far away they are from how you're looking. So we tend to draw a line here for this one that's popping out a little bit, and these other ones, they're a flat surface, so you just leave a line empty. Okay. Next, find the fraction that's halfway between 2/3 and 5/6. Write in your answer as the simplest form. The first thing that you want to do is try to get a common denominator. Okay, well, we can, but it'll be 4/6 and 5/6. Okay, 2/3 is 4/6 because you multiply by 2 here and multiply by 2 here. It's an equivalent fraction. Halfway between 4 and 5 is 4.5 over 6, which is really annoying. 4.5 over 6 is just a very annoying thing to deal with. So what we're going to do is we're going to double the 4.5 to get 9, and we're going to double the 6 to get 12. So we get a more reasonable fraction. And then we need to simplify it. Actually, these can divide by 3. Pardon me, that should say divide by 3. And we should get 3 over 4. Okay, and so your simplest form would be 3 over 4. An alternative would be to have got them to be 18ths and then to cancel down from there, or to got them to be 12ths and cancel down from there, and that'll be absolutely fine, and you'll get 3/4 anyway, regardless. All right, here's the fish tank question. To deal with liters, 1,000 centimeters cubed is 1 liter. Okay, that fact is really important. So the fish tank has a capacity of 60 litres, fine. Okay, Lily uses a 2,000 milliliter jug to put water in the fish tank. She stops when the water is 4 centimeters from the top. Work out the number of jugs of water that Lily uses. So she's 4 centimeters from the top, so she's got 36 centimeters there. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out how much water she actually used. She used 36 centimeters times by 30 times by 50. Okay, that's going to be 1,500 times by 36. 36, 18, 54, 54, this is going to be 54,000. Okay, that's going to be 54,000. That'll take a little bit of working out. I'm just going to double check it on my calculator because I don't want to take ages writing all of these sums down. Yeah, 54,000 is fine. Okay, so she uses 54,000 centimeters cubed, which means that she is using 54 liters, because each 1,000 centimeter cubed is a liter. She uses a 2,000 milliliter jug. 2,000 milliliters is 2 liters. Okay, so how many jugs of water does she use? Well, she would need 54 divided into 2, which is 27 jugs used. Okay, next the diagram shows the triangle XYZ, fine. Jamila proves that the angles of XYZ all add up to 180 degrees. So first off, A and E are equal because they are called corresponding angles, okay? They're F angles, they look like that, okay? And F angles are called corresponding. B and something are equal because they are, B and D are equal because they are alternate angles. Alternate angles look like a Z, okay? There we go, we've got Z angles look alternate, C angles are supplementary, F angles are called corresponding, and X angles are called opposites. They're ZAX, FCXO. Angles CDE add up to 180 degrees because they form a straight line. A straight line. And so the angles in XYZ add up to 180 degrees, okay, because we found out that B is the same as D, so that means C is B. And we found out that A is the same as E, so that means CBA, which is the triangle, must add up to 180 degrees because CDE adds up to 180 degrees. Okay, those are all the questions that you asked about. Good luck with the rest of your revision. Make sure that you're keeping in touch on Teams. Well done, Pico.